Wow, look what I get to wake up to. It's February 4th, it's 38 degrees, and it is a beautiful, beautiful sunrise. Let's go up here. There's the moon. See you in the video. Holy crap, it's cold out there, people. Dude, I'm in California and it's in the freaking 30s. I think it's like 34 degrees. It had to have been 32 because there's frost everywhere. I'll be back. I'm going to take a warm shower and I'll be back. I'm going to teach you some really cool breathing exercises because it's the number one thing that'll help you open back up to your heart, okay? And to increase consciousness. I'll explain that when I come back. All right, so one of the things I do, especially in the morning, or pretty much anytime I go on a walk, I do just a real deep breath in my nose and then out my mouth. And the reason why I do this, and you do it for a while, because you want to clear out the stuff that's in your lungs, okay? And remember, when you oxygenate your body, your bloodstream, it opens that artery which allows you to access higher consciousness, okay? Now, I've done videos on this in the past. I'll try to find the video series and put a link in here, or put it up in the box thing for the next video, okay? So it's like this. So it's in the nose, just a deep breath, a relaxing kind of deep breath, and then out. And I do that. Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Colleen, MikeColleen.com, and I'm a lot warmer. I took a hot shower, so yeah, it's freezing outside, but it's gonna warm up. It's California. It'll warm up probably today to in the mid 60s, so it won't be that bad. All right, so let's start this out. This is mountain sage, by the way. You can get white sage. This is new to me. I like this stuff. This is good. Just kind of clears the, the energy, the air, negative connections and stuff. All right, and I put it out in sand again. I just want to show you, just regular sand. Just put it in there. Water kind of ruins it. All right, let's light the candle, get the show going. All right, this is my favorite candle. I love this stuff. It's got like a men's kind of cologne thing to it, so you're gonna see the reflection in my glasses probably. All right, so it's kind of useless for me to constantly tell you that you need to work on your consciousness without teaching you at least something on how to open up to consciousness and what is it, okay? It's been taught throughout history. I mean, you can go all the way back to Jesus or to Buddha. They're all teaching the same thing. It's just being spoken in different languages and also in different ways, okay? And when we read the old text, we're like, well, what is that? So I am very lucky that I happen to study psychology, hypnosis, NLP, timeline therapy. I got involved in energy healing, and all of this stuff helped me go, oh, it became so obvious, okay? For example, Jesus's eyes are always dilated. They're always big whenever you look at the picture. Now, I remember as a child going, yeah, it's peaceful, but I couldn't understand, like, well, why were his pupils always so big like that? So as I went through my training and I learned about the left brain is the external brain and the right brain is the internal brain. It's connected to the body and your emotions and your feelings, etc. The left brain is the linear nervous system. The right brain is the non-linear, or right. Then you've got the foveal system versus the peripheral system. It's the same thing. These are just different words depending on whether you're talking to an eye doctor, a brain doctor, or a psychologist. There's different words for the same thing. You got the left brain system and the right brain system, which is internal, okay? So the challenge is you've got all these different professions, let's say in America or in English-speaking countries, talking about the same thing using completely different words. Now imagine going back 2,000 years and listening to what they're saying and then reading it now. Yeah, okay, don't know what the hell that means. Well, I got lucky because during our training, they taught us how to dilate our eyes, to be more conscious, to be more in the present moment, and that really blew my mind. And then later on, I started through energy healing, I learned about being more internal and how to drop my awareness down inside, which is what I teach in my course. And it would dilate your eyes. And that's called, I've been calling it internal awareness for many years. And I was reading the Bible one day in my 20s, and it said, Jesus said to look within. And I went, that's what I've been teaching in my course. Wait a minute. And so I started reading what Jesus was saying, and all of a sudden it all fell into place, okay? Buddha also says, look within. Now, what we're doing ultimately is we're opening that artery, which is in the lower reptilian brain, which is kind of towards the back and inside. Because your reptilian brain is the fight or flight brain. So when you're in a state of fear, panic, anxiety, that artery closes because it takes all the blood from here and it shoves it into your muscles and all the blood from your gut. Your gut has the most blood in it than any body part, even your legs. That's why when you work out over about 30 minutes, if you've been lifting weights or running or hitting the bag, all of a sudden your gut shrinks up and then your muscles get bigger. And I remember one day I thought, like, what is that? Like, where is it coming from? It's like, well, it's from the blood, mostly from your gut and from your head. So it makes, when that artery narrows, it limits the amount of blood up here. So it basically shuts it off and it shoves all the blood into your muscular system for fight and flight, which is the reptilian brain. So if you're in a state of panic, anxiety, or fear, it closes that artery. And now you are functioning off of the smallest part of your brain. The reason why I'm saying this is because that's where a narcissist lives. And their number one goal is to shut you down, to shut that artery down, so you are also in that limited view, so you can't see the tricks and manipulations that he's doing. So the first thing we've got to do is we've got to get you guys to calm down, to open that artery up. Anything from deep breathing, which I'm going to teach you today, to meditation, to calm music, okay? There's music on YouTube called Hertz, HTZ, I think it is. And they'll have different numbers like 516 Hertz, 244 Hertz, or whatever. Okay, I don't know the exact numbers. But they mellow you out. And what they're doing is they're opening that artery. That's really what they're doing. So you listen to that for about 20 or 30 minutes. You're just, wow, I feel good, right? So, okay, interesting fact, ladies. Okay, when this artery relaxes and opens up, it opens you up to your right emotional brain. That's about meaningful communication, meaningful connections. It's the spiritual brain. Here's the deal. The way a woman opens that artery is she makes a mental connection first with a man, let's say. And once that lockbox is filled up, it pops open and then it drops down to her heart, technically taking it from her logical brain, opening up to her right brain, the emotional processor, which we feel in our body. All right. So she drops down here and now she feels that emotionally fulfilling experience, and it's wonderful. Guess how a man gets there? Through sex. And here's why. After a man completes sex, has an orgasm, the chemical oxytocin is released into his bloodstream. Now for men, it acts in the opposite way. Now this is so funny, because for women, it's released into your bloodstream and goes into your brain through talking, through mentally stimulating communication. So that is just floods into your system, and now it's like it acts like a caffeine high to women. All right? Whereas men, it acts as a relaxant. And all I have to say is this. What happens to a man after he has an orgasm, after he completes sex? All he wants to do is A, fall asleep, or B, just close his eyes and sit there and be quiet. And he'll be like, no, don't talk. The reason why is because if you start to talk, it will shove him back into his logical brain and it'll put him in that narrow system, which you don't like anyways, because unconsciously men go to their left brain, they revert to the left brain to communicate. So if he talks, he's going to go back here and not here, which is where you want him. Women love it when a man is open to his heart. What do they say? I'm looking for a man who's available emotionally. Well, that's when that artery opens up. That's why if you look in the old days, women would massage men or do relaxing dances or put like a red scarf over a lamp to make the more mellow, because all of that relaxes him and allows him to open up his heart so you can connect with him emotionally. I've been teaching this in my course for men, to teach men how to open up emotionally so they can connect with a woman emotionally first instead of sex, so she gets her emotional fulfillment. Now watch this. I've been teaching this for many years, and I was reading the Bible one day and I was like, wait a minute. This is what Jesus talks about, the Holy Grail. The right brain is the Holy Grail. Billy Graham talks about you've got to be in your right mind. You've got to be in your right mind. The right mind, the female brain, the emotional brain, this is the the emotional, creative, spiritual brain. The left brain's the male brain, the logical processor, the linear business computer, computer system, like a machine, right? So we want to open up to our right brain because that's the open door to God's Spirit. Same thing that Buddha was teaching, same thing that Jesus teaches, okay? The problem is most Christians don't know that. Here's why. When you read or listen through the logical left brain, this is the logical processor. You're filtering words through logic. So the left brain is about rules, structure, and organization. So someone who's reading the Bible through their left brain will filter everything through their rules filter. It's like, and when it comes out, it becomes a bunch of rules. So when those words go through the rule logical filter, on the other side, they're experienced and seen and perceived as rules. Whereas the right brain is the five senses processor. It's the emotional processor. This filter, this processor, when words go through there, they're filtered through the five senses: see, hear, feel, smell, and taste. And they become an emotional experience. Again, I teach men how to communicate in that language. Not only to open up to the right brain, but to communicate in this language so he can not only understand you, but he can give you emotionally fulfilling and meaningful communication. Now, when you read the words of Jesus through the right brain, all of a sudden it's like a light bulb goes on and you understand what he's talking about. The Lord is inside, but most Christian churches say, no, God's out there, right? No, he's not. Jesus himself says the Lord resides within the temple. He then says the body is the temple of the Lord. If this is the temple and the Lord resides within the temple, that's where God is, okay? So in order to connect with God, you have to be internal. You have to look within. And all of us that are talking about narcissist abuse are talking about how you've got to trust your intuition. That's that being, that spirit, that God, whatever you want to call it, that's inside each and every one of us. To find God, you have to look within. Not go to the Himalayas and climb some mountain to find some monk. He'll go, because a lot of people are like, I'm trying to find myself. And the Buddha looks at you and he goes, you right there. I'm serious. And I remember the first time a monk actually did this in temple. It was Buddha calm, and he goes, you right there. And me and my girlfriend smiled at each other because we were watching this. We were basically not part of it, but right next to it. Because we were talking to Buddha calm, and this other person came up, I'm trying to find myself. He goes, you right there. And I had just gone through my own awakening experience. I had explained this to my girlfriend a couple months before that. Like, everyone tries to go out there to find themselves, to go to a mountain, to climb, to find some spiritual guru or some monk in some little tent or some cave. And the monk they always say this, that was you right there. Meaning yourself is inside. What you're looking for is inside. It's not out there. It's an internal experience. This is the internal journey. So, all right, let's get to the deep breathing. All right, so the first one, the third one really is the main one, but the first one is simple. It's like I was doing in the video where you just breathe in. You don't want to blow my candle out, so I'll blow it this way. In fact, I want you to do it with me right now. Sorry. So do this with me a few times. Ready? Breathe in. Breathe out. Notice how I'm not going. I'm not letting it all. It's more, I'm pursing my lips. Because when you press it and push it, it forces the oxygen through. Oh, I forgot the name of it. Damn it. Through the, I forget what it's called, in your lungs. It pushes it through into the bloodstream, okay? What it's also doing is it's cleaning out your gunk. That's the layers of slime, basically, that are in there, and it pushes it through into your bloodstream so it can be digested and urinated out. So it cleans your lungs. You need to do this. It is so good for you. Now, I keep talking to you about consciousness in that artery. Well, on that artery, there is an oxygen sensor, just like a car, I swear to God. Now, here's what it does. When it senses there's plenty of oxygen, guess what it does? It opens up and allows blood to flow into your larger hemisphere, thus opening you up to your greater awareness / consciousness brain, your spiritual brain. That is the whole goal of all of this. Now, here's the deal. A lot of you that have dealt with narcissists, even months later, you're in this panic and you're here, you're like this, you're stressed, and you go to sleep like that, you go to work like that, or you don't go to work because you can't do it. It's because the narcissist is an expert at closing you down, at making your pupils small, and then when you're in your far left brain, or technically in your reptilian brain especially, your pupils get real small. Do you remember the Bible saying the eye of the needle? I remember I think it was my niece or my goddaughter. It's like sometimes men, they got these pupils. They're like you couldn't even put a needle through there. I'm like, yeah, you can't. It's tiny. And when they're like that, that's how I know their reptilian brain is closing the artery and narrowing it, and so not much blood is functioning up here. The number one food that your brain lives off of, its number one fuel is oxygen. The number two fuel is glutamine. Glutamine is what you can eat. If you studied the Krebs cycle in biology class, everything you eat, from proteins to complex carbs to simple carbs, just sugars basically, they all go through a cycle and they'll break all the way down to glutamine, right? There's a glycogen. Even glutamine is one, I think glutamine is just one cycle, and when it breaks down, it goes down to glycogen, okay? And you can buy glutamine powder. Hold on. All right. So this is glutamine. All right. And I'm going to talk about this later. It is a white powder. You get a scoop. This turns your brain on. Scoop. White powder. Yeah, there you go. All right. So we'll do that later. All right, so this is very important. It makes it really simple to open that artery, all right? So that artery has a sensor. Not only does it sense oxygen, but watch this, it also senses glutamine. So for every molecule of oxygen that is traveling through your bloodstream, 2 molecules of glycogen, this is glutamine. This gets into your system faster because it's only one cycle down from glutamine, from glutamine. So for every molecule of oxygen that is going through your bloodstream, 2 molecules of glycogen piggyback ride, they connect, they attach literally, and it goes up into your bloodstream. So your muscles and your brain, those are the number 1 and number 2 food sources or fuel sources, and it really turns you on. So what that artery is doing is it's saying, hey, is there enough oxygen, which is fuel, it's like gasoline, so to speak, fuel, and is there enough glutamine for the muscles, so in case something dangerous happens, you can run fast or be powerful. So you can either run or fight and be strong. So it's the fight or flight brain. You're either going to be strong to fight, lots of energy for the muscles, or you're going to have lots of energy to run, fight or flight. And that's its number 1 job, is to make sure you are safe. Once it realizes you're safe, that artery relaxes. So once it recognizes a lot of oxygen, the artery relaxes and it opens up. And now it allows more blood to flow up into your larger right brain. And now you're operating on a higher level. So a lot of people talk about, oh, I'm on my higher power. Most people don't even know what that means. They have no idea what that means. Or I'm conscious, and they're not. They're in the reptilian brain, the arteries like this, and they're talking like this, and it's like, dude, that's not conscious at all. That's narrow. We want to open this door wide open, okay? So I'm going to give you some breathing techniques right now, and pretty much that's it. So the first one is really simple. It's just in the nose. This is my starter thing. Or if in the middle of the day, if I'm at my desk working and I notice I'm kind of like my head's not oxygenated, I'll just... and I'll do it longer and longer each time. So and then I will begin to more forcefully breathe in. That's really key. So okay, now there's another one that we used to do as kids. We'd hold our breath, usually under the water, the pool, or in the bathtub, so you could do it the longest. That is really good. Again, why? Because when you hold your breath, When you do that, there's pressure on your lungs and it's pushing oxygen through your lung tissue into the bloodstream. And that is the goal, to oxygenate the bloodstream, okay? So how you start that is just hold your breath for 5 seconds or 7 seconds comfortably. So notice how I'm pursing my lip, and I'm not just letting it, I'm not going, that's not going to do it, because you want that oxygen to be pushing, because even though you're breathing out, it's not letting it all out, so there's still pressure, and it's pushing the oxygen through your lungs into your bloodstream, all right? Once that gets up to that artery, when it recognizes you got plenty of oxygen, it opens right up, and now you're operating on a higher level. That reptilian brain is the smallest part of your intelligence. But most people walk around going, I'm really intelligent, I'm really intelligent. No. When your face is taut, tight, angular, that's when you're using the lowest part of your brain. That's when that artery is closed and it tightens everything up. All right? So here's the number 2. Number 3. So number 1 is in the nose and out the mouth. Do it vigorously, and again, as you do it, you want to force more in. So, let's say you've been doing it for 2 or 3 minutes. So then it's so as you start doing this and your lungs start to open up, you want to force more in. Now, if you got a stuffy nose, have a little bit, not bad. You can breathe in the mouth. So, okay, so now we're going to do the third one. This one will totally relax you. And it's the one that I will do a minimum of 15, 20, 25 minutes before I start my meditation. It's called Ha breathing, and I learned it in Hawaii, okay, while studying Huna. So it's real simple. You breathe in the nose. Breathe in again. Okay. I will do that a minimum of 5 or 7 minutes just to relax. I will generally, if you have anxiety, you're uptight, you're stressed, you do that long enough, you do that Ha breathing until your anxiety completely goes away. Because anxiety narrows that artery, and that's what's causing the panic attack. It tightens up your muscles because you don't have enough fuel and oxygen. So when that artery gets narrow, it means you don't have enough oxygen in your bloodstream, and that causes you to get stressed, anxiety, and panic. I'm telling you, because I used to have unbelievable anxiety. All you have to do is do that Ha breathing until the anxiety goes completely away. Not 50%, 70%. You want it all gone, man. You're going to be like, oh, this feels good. And you'll notice you'll talk to people differently. Just, You're breathing more. It's all about breath, I'm telling you. Okay? I highly recommend that you open your mouth. The mouth has to be wide. I mean, in choir, I think the teacher said 2 fingers or 3 fingers. When we would sing, she'd open your mouth, and I think it was 2 fingers or 3. You got to have it wide open. Now, here's the other thing I recommend, because a lot of people that are very heady, they'll be on up in their head. No, you want to close your eyes and drop your awareness down into your body and feel what's going on. So in the nose. Hold it for a second. pretty much it, okay? I'm going to do the video about how to alkalinize your body, make your body more alkaline, your bloodstream, in the next video, because the breathing technique, especially the Ha breathing, here's what it does. It burns fat. It also releases water weight. So if you're like holding water weight, if you do that long enough, you'll have to go pee 2-3 times the next hour. I guarantee it. It'll make you pee. In fact, I gotta go right now, to be honest with you. So, hey, this is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com. There are answers to help you get out of this nightmare, and breathing and meditation are the big ones. Because again, the narcissist wants to put you in that narrow focus by putting you in a panic state or fear state, which closes that artery, and now your body is in fight or flight. So you're in a panic state. You do the Ha breathing long enough, every single day, twice a day if you have to, it will help you to relax. And you know what else? What I would do after Ha breathing, I'd Ha breathe for 20 plus minutes, and then I would stretch for at least 20 or 30 minutes, doing deep breathing and holding my breath while I do hold the stretch, and after 20 seconds of stretching, let it out. So God bless you guys. Good luck, and go ahead and do it. Bye.